courtesy of another network. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. This is live number 3. Thank you. Okay. A lot of conversation going on pertaining to this case. He said, she said, why is the video now being released? I'm assuming investigators involved with Seth ROGERS released this content. So many people will ask why did law officials release it months ago just to show proof of life that night, which would have been the 25th, February 25th. So today marks the child's 16th birthday. Don't know where he is. Don't know. This live stream is to chop up all the he said, she said nonsense pertaining to this child, which is sad. It's sad it had to get to this point. It's sad that the parents are at odds. It's sad the parents are not together rallying for the child, but it is what it is. You see a lot of this in the children cases. You also will see it sometimes in adult cases of missing people and deceased people. I just don't know where this case is going. I said in my last live stream, I'm praying for absolution in this case. My prayers are with Seth ROGERS, but I will say that I am tired of the buffoonery. I am tired of hearing about lawsuits and people suing each other. I'm sick of all of it. All this nonsense that went on with Betty. Now we're hearing some stuff they got in cahoots. They possibly used to come on board to stir up trouble at that vigil. All of this is just ridiculous to me. It's time for everybody to just stop. Stay out of this case. It is not your concern. I've said this so many times about true crime and just topics in general. A lot of you are detached from reality. You don't have anything productive to do with your time. And it is just ridiculous to take matters into your own hands to where you're traveling out of town, renting cars, going by people's houses, banging on doors, trying to film things. We also heard this female was escorted per Tony Mathis from this vigil. She wouldn't have got 20 minutes of film on my watch. Because these are the things you tell people in the beginning when they pull up to wherever the event is. There will be no filming. So somebody pulls out their phone camera, you ask them to leave, Johnny on the spot. You don't keep debating with people. See, that's what kills me about us as humans. We keep going round and round with people. Don't keep going round and round. Don't keep going back and forth. Don't argue with them. You tell them one time like you're talking to a child. There will be no filming at this event. As soon as you see a camera or a phone or whatever, you kind of go over to the person and say, excuse me, can I speak to you for a second? And you escort them out the venue. And then you tell them, hey, you got to get the hell on. You have a nice day. And you don't keep talking to them, see? Then they know you mean business. She wouldn't have got 20 minutes of film time. How does she meet the Proudfoots, Mr. Chris, whomever? I don't know, don't care. The point is they're all in cahoots together. That's the point. And as Mr. Mathis said, sometimes you got to hit them where it hurts, which is the pocketbook. Exactly. To make them go away. It's sad that it even has to be a conversation. Allegedly, Seth was nowhere near this woman at this vigil. So she went there, I guess, to poke at Betty. But yet you're suing Seth. Why? Chopping all this up in this live stream. Get it over with and done. Because I'm tired of hearing these stories. I'm tired of hearing excess nonsense and baggage pertaining to Sebastian. And it's not beneficial. None of it's beneficial. And I'm just tired of it. This takes me back to Camille McKinney. She had wayward parents, too young to be making babies. They were at odds with each other. The very reason the damn child went missing, because nobody's watching the child, tending to the child. Now she's dead, found in a dumpster. Then you have the Evelyn Boswell case. She was too young. Having a came from wayward parents. She wanted the attention of a man, she kills her baby. Same bullshit with Susan Smith. These people are checking out. That's the point. You're not watching your kids. You're not minding your kids, unaliving your kids. Just a lot of crazy nonsense going on with people and their children. A lot of people don't have any business with children. That's the bottom line. I felt Seth's pain last night when he spoke on his live stream pertaining to his child missing. I feel bad for him, because he genuinely appears to care for his child. Getting choked up, speaking about his son. Today's the 16th birthday of the boy child. No new information pertaining to the whereabouts of this child. And then we have this footage here released showing the child eating. It's very macabre when you watch people that are assumed missing and or deceased. It's scary. And you can see he was very hungry when you watch the content. He obviously had an appetite on this Sunday evening, which we have heard that from, I believe, all of the parents, that he liked to eat. Growing boy, he would be, like food. He's not a big kid, but he has an appetite. And let her tell her he had a colossal size popcorn. So obviously he still had an appetite on this Sunday, the 25th of February. But nonetheless, law enforcement, you should have released this footage earlier to put to bed rumors and rhetoric when they started. That way people could stop talking and making videos about when he went missing. To this day, we still don't know when he went missing. And if indeed he's missing by a two-legged creature or creatures, they know when he went missing, whoever they are. But you should have released this right when the Amber Alert was issued. Well, let's show you proof of life. Proof of life at this point, the 25th. We don't know where he went thereafter. We have a version from the mother. Is what we have. That's all you had to say. Now, I was listening to someone's content that I don't care for, but allegedly it was being said that, sorry about that, my screen blinks on and off. What the child had on that day, that black t-shirt and pants, they were accounted for. Were they? See, I like a receipt to stuff because it's easy for anybody to say anything. So I like a receipt to know that shirt and pants and shoes were accounted for. Just bring me a receipt. He allegedly went to bed in some, sweatpants, sweat outfit. So they weren't accounted for. So we're to believe what? He did make it home if indeed this shirt and pants he has on were accounted for. I don't know. I don't put my stamp on anything that I can't prove. That's just me. Because frankly, I'm tired of hearing about all of this nonsense pertaining to this child. But this is the latest development. A video has been released pertaining to the child, and that is Sebastian, and that is the bio person who gave birth to him, sitting at a table in a local restaurant. In the video, you can see the child has an appetite, eating. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, you take what you want from this. Now, this other nonsense about a guy in a hoodie and some Fisher guy saying that this investigative team is trying to spin the narrative and involve somebody that don't have nothing to do with the case. The guy was just letting the girl pass, letting the bio mother pass, blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of hearing all this nonsense. So this would be sad if they are trying to spin a narrative that this guy is involved in this case of the child disappearing. Well, he's seen on camera. How hard would it be for the police to put 2 and 2 together pertaining to the child and going by the house or following them home? Come on now. Now, if we're getting ready to start implicating innocent people, I'm not on board with none of that. I'm just saying. And as the guy from the lab said, you know, he's trying to work on himself and his commentary pertaining to the case. We all could be a little nicer. I will agree, and I concur with that. This is why I don't have a reason to talk about this case every day, because it's all he said and she said. And there comes a point, just like I did with Summer Wells, just like I did with Camille McKinney, I taper off at a point where I feel it's not going anywhere and it's no need to keep beating a dead horse. And this case is been past that mark. Everybody going at odds, cussing each other out, talking crazy to each other. It comes to a point where you have to say, I don't need to participate in this nonsense. That's the reason why I don't care to talk about murder and or missing people on this network. I will cover cases that I have covered in the beginning. I talked about it previously at the time of the person's disappearance, but it will not be an everyday occurrence on this network to talk about missing people and dead people. I just don't have the patience for the nonsense that comes with it. And a lot of you are detached from reality and you don't know how to comprehend basic information and common sense. And I just don't want to engage with you about it. But I'm bringing this update because I listened to Seth's live stream last night and I saw how disturbed he appeared. And Mr. Mathis speaking about this lawsuit with this psycho woman out of Texas and her connection to Mr. Proudfoot, and also this video being released. So I decided to talk about it today and be done with it. That's that. Hello, Grayson. It's all disturbing. Now, these comments are from a Mr. Fisher, who seems like the same guy who might be involved in that disappearance of Hannah Kobayashi, unless we got two private eyes with the same last name. I don't know what's going on, but basically he's saying that's it. In the entirety of the video of the man outside the steakhouse, he doesn't have any involvement in this case. And basically they're saying, I guess, that this investigative team affiliated with Seth are hyping up a narrative that he may be involved in this case. I don't know. I haven't gone to search anything out because I don't search anything out pertaining to Sebastian. The only time I look for anything pertaining to Sebastian is when it meets the new month of the 26th. And I'll look for news content pertaining to his disappearance, which I didn't see anything for the 9th month mark. So I just freelanced, on the case. But I've had just about enough of everybody. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I wish everybody would just stop. Just stop it. Stop suing people. Stop taking people to court. Just stop it. It's BS. Just stop it. Now, you can assume what you want from watching the video. Who's engaged? She's looking at her phone, blah, blah, blah. Some of you going on and on about she was taking pictures, this and that. You can basically see she's scrolling up her phone when you zoom in. That's why you always put a video on full screen so you can get a better view. You can see she's scrolling up her phone, looking at something. He's eating his food. They don't look like they're really talking. She does look up at him once. Don't know really what's going on. You take it as you want. But she was mostly in her phone. And then you have to remember this is only, a few minutes of a clip. So we don't really know how long they were in the restaurant. I don't know how long they were there. I don't know their actual conversations at the table. So it is what it is. But he did seem very hungry, eating his food. Sad. Looking at the videos, just as sad. Child eating food with a mother. Later, after the fact, these people don't seem in tune to the child missing. She's just nibbling on her little food. She's got a little plate of food versus his 2 big plates of food. 1, 2, and then her little plate there. Don't know what's on that plate. Then something else comes to the table. Wait for another plate. Looks like Sebastian looked in it like he maybe wanted to eat some of it. It's all crazy nonsense. Video should have been released after he went missing. You need to release anything to show proof of life. That's my opinion. Always show proof of life. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Vault Cell. Thank you, Grayson. I appreciate it. So what do you have to say about what you have viewed in the video? What do you all have to say about what you've seen in the few minutes of this video? Let me go back when she gets that second plate. Hold on. Yes, he seemed very hungry. So it looks like she takes something out of there, a piece of bread, she's touching it. I don't know what she's doing. I guess that's bread. She picks it up, but she doesn't do anything with it. Strange. Let's go back. He's fidgeting around. She brought him something else, brought that little basket. I guess it's bread. What is she eating? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Depends on your. So she touches it, then she puts it back. Wipes off her on her pants. Oh, what the hell we're watching? Yeah, well, Miranda, we're talking. We're definitely talking. But what are we talking about? That's the point. What is it that we're speaking of pertaining to this kid, these parents, where he is, involving other people, because it can get just redundant to keep rehashing things without a receipt, now implicating other people. Now imagine this guy is walking around the earth and he gets wind of this video that's been released and he finds out he's all over YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. He'll be wanting to sue somebody because the first thing he's going to say, why are you showing me? Why are you pointing me out as involved in this case? See, nobody is thinking about the worst case scenario besides the child missing and God forbid he's not alive. Implicating other people. You got to think. She's scrolling up pictures on her phone. That's what she's doing. You have to look at this video on a bigger screen, such as a flat screen or a computer where you can zoom in on the video. This is why a lot of times you miss things in videos off of the news or somebody's channel. You've got to zoom in the corner where you can get a bigger picture of what the people are doing. You can see she's scrolling up on her phone, whatever she's looking at. She was scrolling stuff because you can see her moving her hand up the screen. Sebastian seems to be well behaved and mannerly, unlike the latest information that's been thrown out here. Well, I mean, everybody has a good day and a bad day. the boy has a developmental issue. So I would suspect there's going to be some negativity in his behavior. That's just common sense. Autism on the spectrum, whatever. Bipolar, not bipolar. People are people. That's the point. He's a child. So he's going to have a good day. He's going to have a bad day. Every day could be a good day. Every day could be a bad day. I don't know because I don't know him. I just know that what I've seen with these other parents, I don't care for, and that's my opinion. That's my assessment. But what you can see in the video on this night, the 25th of February, that he appeared hungry. I can take that much from the video. Where I have the problem is why is it just not being released when everybody's been wondering where he is and what happened to him? We don't have any proof that he made it home. So you could at least have shown this video when you issued the Amber Alert to say, well, hey, we do have a video of the child walking into the restaurant. You should have showed him walking in. You just should have shown him being seated, show him eating, and show him exiting out with her. That's the best you can do. Now, as far as somebody in the parking lot, if you want to say somebody followed them, or you're not going to have proof of that. Because you can't prove people getting in their car and driving off out of a parking lot where the hell they were going. And naturally, we don't know where she was going when she left this restaurant. Could have went left, could have went right, could have went to another county. I don't know. All I'm saying is the video should have been released when the child was reported missing, Amber Alert issued. That way people could say, okay, I see he was alive walking in, out of the restaurant. That's what I'm saying. What I found strange is when Tony's talking with Josh, he said lawsuit just became aware. Then on BJ, she said she knew about it for a long time, but she didn't speak on it. Conflicting stories on Green Team. Well, that's the whole point. I tell you what I want you to know. That's why I always tell you all about true crime and the people in the story. Everything's a version. You either believe it or you don't. So I don't know the truth about this lawsuit business. I think it's all crazy. I think this lady from Texas, whoever she is, she needs to go worry about her own damn children. Allegedly, they say she lied about being a teacher. That's why she was at the vigil. My thing is what I say to her is what I say to everybody on YouTube and people who watch this type of content. Everybody needs to grow up. Everybody needs to grow up. Everybody needs to get them a life because you all are just too immersed in this Sebastian business, Summer Wells business. Anybody goes missing, you lose your damn mind and you lose your focus. The focus is supposed to be the child, the missing person, the deceased person. All this scrolling TikTok and Facebook and IG, trying to figure out what they said, what they posted, who their friends of friends are, just going on and on. This type of stuff exacerbates a case. This is why the police don't want to hear what you have to say. You really can't even get mad at the police when it comes to these type of cases because this is what you all do out here. You don't know how to leave well enough alone. You meddle and you think it's okay. And then you get mad when somebody calls you out on it. But you need to be called out on it because you're acting like a psycho person. A person that's missing could be possibly dead, which means a psycho took their life. And then you come along and immerse yourself in the case, acting no more different than the person that killed the person. Just saying. I don't rock with this type of nonsense. This right here to me is foolishness. All of this is foolishness to me. It's all foolishness to me. And this just shows me that there are people out here walking around just as sick as the people bickering, sick as the people who got the person missing or killed the person. I view it all the same. That's just quaint. Because my thing is always, how far are you willing to go to be immersed in something that don't concern you? This doesn't concern you. So you traveling all the way from Texas to Tennessee to go meddle and act a fool and holler and scream, that means you weren't there for the right reason. What you hollering and screaming for, if I'm to believe Tony's allegations? You're supposed to be there because you're a teacher. You're there to film, but you're hollering and screaming and acting a fool. They're asking you to put your camera down, then you should comply. Hey, we don't want you filming, then don't film. So you went to Tennessee to stir up some shit, looking for Betty, looking for ammunition to take to the Proudfoots. That's what it looks like to me. You reached out to the Proudfoots. You done got in cahoots with Christopher, and now you trying to get with any ammunition you can to stir the pot with this man and this case. And it's just like what I have said before about Seth. This is all about Seth. What is it that you all don't understand? All this nonsense between the Proudfoots and him, and now this little messy Karen, it is about Seth. It's always been about Seth. It's always been about Seth. What you're saying, you wouldn't go that far. Well, it depends on what you consider far. I'm just keeping it real. Because everything's about interpretation. Reaching out to the Proudfoots and Seth, some people may say that's going too far. Just saying. Making up conspiracies, putting your stamp on what you think happened to the little boy, that's going too far in the eyes of somebody. Running down here to Tennessee, camping out in front of the house, that's going too far to somebody. It's just time for everybody to grow up. That's my assertion. You all don't have anything to focus on. I can pray for this child without being directly involved. I don't know Seth. I don't know the Proudfoots. I don't know Sebastian. And this is not a case I would want to get tangled up with any damn way, just because of how ugly it has been. And I have talked to people behind the scenes who have been affiliated with this case, and I realized I don't even know who the fuck I was talking to. I'll say it on this live stream. Because you all know I do not bite my tongue. I don't even know who the hell I was talking to months ago. And these people directly were affiliated with Seth Rogers. And that's the point I've been trying to make for years, since I started talking about true crime on this network. You don't know people. You don't know the victim. You don't know their relatives. You don't know the people who immersed themselves in the case. You don't know the people working the case, such as detectives, TBI, government. You don't know these people. And yet you all go on and on and on with videos and comments, and I talked to this person, I called the courthouse, I called the chief, I called the mayor, I did all you did. Stop. Just stop. Stop it. Crystal ball, talking boxes. Stop. You look like a fucking fool. You got to know when to stay out of people's business. It's just like this old Hannah Kobayashi shit. It's out of control because there's something wrong. So I always tell people, chaos breeds chaos. This case is no different. Something has happened to the child for all these people to be out here acting a donkey's ass. His own parents don't even get along, don't speak. That's your first red flag right there. A woman coming out to jump on YouTube to talk about being involved with Christopher. Another red flag. They meddling with people who were trying to search. Another red flag. All these different people jumping in, YouTubers, wanting 5 minutes of fame, pretending to be Seth's friend, people coming down with search dogs and all of that. Private eyes, all of y'all that fell out with Seth, or Seth fell out with you all. More red flags. Don't you see what's happening? Something is wrong. Something has happened to the child, and that child missing is breeding more chaos. That's why I keep trying to tell people, if you pay attention to the story, you already know there's something wrong, because tentacles are latching on to the story. And they're just as wicked as whatever happened to the person. That's why this shit gets out of control, because wickedness is the catalyst of the story. So all these other people who are not mentally stable and want 5 minutes of fame, and they're bored, and all they do is sit at home all day and sit on the internet and scroll, they jump in the pot, showing they're not level-headed. I wouldn't waste my breath trying to get involved with all this nonsense. I've already seen how people act. I saw it with the Summer Wells case. I talked to somebody who was directly involved in that case, and they was a fruitcake and a fucking nut. And they were coming at me talking crazy because of something that was going on behind the scenes with somebody they had working with them. What does that have to do with me? I let the person know, I ain't what you want. I just met you and I just met that other person. What y'all got going on don't concern me, and don't put me in it. So now you understand, chaos breeds chaos. Little white girl missing. Everybody want to be a part of the story. Parents keeping up shit on YouTube. Then here come all these other tentacles jumping on. Now they want to involve other people in the nonsense. I let them know, I ain't what you want. You not getting ready to drag me down nobody rabbit hole. I go down a hole, I went on my own. I don't need no help. Now, fast forward. White boy missing out of Tennessee. All hell done broke loose. Everybody got a version and a story, and I saw this and I know this, and Pookie called me, Ray called me, Bubba called me. I talked to Christopher, I talked to Katie, blah, 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 blah. All this talking and chatting, but y'all don't know where that little boy is. Where is he at? That's what I want to hear. Do you know where he is? Until you know where he is, I don't want to hear nothing about nobody. A PI, a dog, a cat, the waitress, the waiter, the neighbor, the Proudfoots, Seth. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm over it. Because it's ridiculous. Lee says she's not present at all, facing her phone as usual. Sebastian seems ravenous. This is the first I'm seeing this video. Okay. I do believe I have watched a few lives of yours where you had your opinions and speculations. Just saying. I'm not talking about my opinions and speculations. So don't come here with that nonsense. Don't come here with that nonsense. I know what the fuck I've said on my network about Sebastian. I'm talking about spreading lies and lawsuits. I haven't sued anyone. No one has sued me, thank God. I know what I stand on. And the point is, I don't have to talk about it every day. I don't have to go on and on about what I think happened to Sebastian Rogers every fucking day. So I don't need nobody coming in this chat telling me about what I speculated on. I know what the fuck I said on this network. I'm not talking about my opinion in this video. I'm talking about this video of a child in a restaurant and the lawsuits That's what this video is about. This video is not about Angela. Thank you, Whiskey. Well, you know, my thing is people see, that's the problem with people. People want you to sit here and feed this nonsense every day. Want you to beat a dead horse every day. I don't have to. I've said what I've had to say. I don't have to go live every day about Sebastian Rogers. I don't have to keep telling people how I feel about any of these people in the story. The point of this video is about this Texas Roadhouse video. That's what this video is about. About the parents. That's what this video is about. And I'm talking about people getting in the story, making the story worse. That don't got nothing to do with Angela. Because I'm not one of those people. I haven't been to Hendersonville. I haven't been to the Proudfoot's house. I haven't walked by their house. I have not drove by their house. I have not filed any court papers against them or Seth. They haven't contacted me. Thank you. The point is, today's his birthday. He is still missing. His father is distraught. And we still have chaos brewing about a 16, 15-year-old child, whichever age you would like to say he is. That's the point of this live stream. Well, I'm going to be quiet on that. All I'm going to say is what I was saying at the beginning of this live stream. Is that the case is out of control. It is not about Sebastian. It's about everybody other than him. And when you immerse yourself in a case of a missing person and you go in to wreak havoc, you are not helping the case. That's the point. That's the point. He's missing. His birthday is today. His father is distraught. And now we have this video. And now there's more gossip. He said, she said, with this video. As I said, I don't go in looking for anything pertaining to Sebastian or Seth. If it's not about the new month, the 26th, I don't have anything to talk about. Because I'm tired of, as I said, regurgitating the same information over and over and over. This live is basically, as I said, to talk about the video, to talk about a lawsuit that Mr. Seth may take against this female out of Texas. Why is she doing these things? Why is she immersing herself in the case? I don't know. To me, it's vengeance. She has it in for Betty. She has it in for Seth. Because as someone said, why sue Seth when you didn't have an altercation with Seth? Seth didn't touch you. He didn't put his hands on you. He didn't threaten you. She's claiming terroristic threats, allegedly. Why? And also for the investigation team. If you're involving somebody else in this plot, you better bring a damn receipt. Because this guy, if you're implicating him in this crime, alleged crime, he could now go get a lawyer. And he could sue you for showing his face in a video to say he's involved in the disappearance of Sebastian. This is not what you want. This is why the police don't want others, us, outsiders, saying anything, doing anything, and making content on things without a receipt. Just the way it is. Yes. Well, a lot of people are disturbed. That's the point I'm making. Everybody is evenly yoked in these cases, or just in general. There's something wrong with people, period, that you would take it serious to where you feel like you need to be involved in these cases. So that tells me you do this on your own time when there isn't a true crime case, when there is no missing kid, there is no missing woman, no missing guy. You're doing this in your personal life. You're that, I'm going to say it, that messy Karen, messy Ken. You're that person that goes out. You got something to say about everybody in the grocery store. You got something to say about who didn't put the boogie back. You're that person. You're worried about why somebody boombox is playing too loud in their car. You're that person. Because you got to have a start, you see. And if you can get wrapped up with these strangers and, run out of breath, trying to message them and be where they are and, calling them on Messenger and trying to find them, for what? Because even the YouTube thing, it's out of control as well with contacting these people. Because you see, it doesn't work. Because later, after the people have contacted these people in the story, next thing you know, we hear they've fallen out. Because this goes back to what I've said. You don't know these people. You're thinking they're genuine people because somebody's missing. Then you get involved with them 1 month, 2 months later. Somebody says or does something somebody don't like. Then the next thing you know, you back up here talking on a YouTube channel, TikTok video, Facebook. Oh, I don't know what happened. And he said this and I said this. And I don't think I did anything wrong. And da, 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 da. And it's back and forth, back and forth. Now, the story is about you and your interaction with the person, but not the missing person. And that's what we saw in this case pertaining to Seth and all the people that were trying to help him. 6-ring circus. He said this, she did this. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Nothing about the little boy. Now, 9+ months in, birthday today, no new information pertaining to the child, no arrests, no nothing from law enforcement to tell us where they stand in this case, where the investigation is, nothing. And now another possibly pending lawsuit from Seth Rogers for some psycho chick out of Texas. And then this video, still shots released to the public of the child walking out from his car with the bio person sitting inside the restaurant. She doesn't seem to be in tune to him. But as I said, I don't know how long they were in the restaurant. People probably want to see the full footage of them dining. Hour and a half. It makes it better if you can see the entire visit in the restaurant, not 2-3 minute clips of a little boy eating food. It's just a hot mess. Well, Sassy, that's the whole point of this situation. We don't really know what they told the police. And that's something I talk about as well. What I tell you on social media does not mean I told the police that version. And we learned that with Summer Wells' case. There's no way you could believe 2% of what the Wells had to say about Summer. Because what I said to the police and what the police said to me, I'm not getting ready to get on YouTube and tell that. Why would I do that? If those people told me to my face, hey, I think you got something to do with your child missing, you think I'm getting ready to come to YouTube and tell YouTube that? And I want sympathy? I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you the truth about my dealings with DHS and my children. I believe they lied about that. Those children probably had been, their rights probably been gone, but they're not going to come to YouTube and tell you the truth. Oh yeah, they took our rights away from the child, just like the Proudfoots. They're not going to tell you the truth about what really went on in that house with this boy. They're never going to really tell you the truth about any allegations against them, founded, unfounded. DHS ain't going to never tell you nothing about a case. They'll only tell you something if the boy is found unalive. That's when you'll get the truth about any dealings with the Proudfoots, Seth, and Sebastian with the state. Somebody has to be dead. It's sad that the little like button has taken over the world, and it's weak people that think they need that to be successful. I had to look this up on this kid because I hadn't heard of it. Oh, okay. Well, that's the world we're in. As most of you know, the government has passed or hit the like button on the TikTok to be disbanded in the United States, since you brought that subject matter up about the like button. So Biden has put a stamp of approval on dismantling TikTok here in the United States. Naturally, the Chinese are going to try to fight this issue because they know a lot of people in America watch TikTok, and a lot of people here in America are TikTokers. I may do a live pertaining to that latest development pertaining to TikTok, because there are a lot of people on TikTok who do talk about this case as well. I think it's all sad. The case is just sad because today's his birthday, Sebastian. He has not been seen or heard from that I know of. The father did a live last night. He's distraught about his son. The other two are not engaged in any type of conversation with Seth Rogers. He seems to be the last man standing on trying to find his son. He seems to be the only person that cares for his son, and it's abhorrent. I just think everybody needs to leave well enough alone, stay away from these people. Don't bother Seth. Don't bother the Proudfoots. Proudfoots, you all stay in your lane. Seth, you stay in your lane. Everybody stay to themselves and mind their business, because this case is out of control, and all this lawsuit business is pathetic to me. People taking people to court. As I said with the Betty Bullhorn nonsense, this was all about Seth. And I know what I'm talking about, because this shit with this woman from Texas is proof in the pudding. Who else is it about? They don't want nobody talking to Seth. They don't want nobody rallying with Seth. They don't want nobody helping Seth. That shows me somebody has something to hide. This is no different than this Hannah bullshit going on over in Mexico. You don't want nobody searching. You don't want nobody aiding in the investigation, but you want money through a GoFundMe. How does that make any sense? You want money for a GoFundMe to search for somebody, but you don't want somebody on the ground searching. So basically you're saying you just want the money. But I don't want you searching because I know what's going on, because it's a scheme, it's a scam. And that's how it's looking with that Kobayashi case. This is all, it's a scam. So in this case, it's a scam too. Somebody don't want the truth to be revealed. So I'm going to hinder anybody helping and aiding to get to the truth of Sebastian Rogers. I'm going to do everything I can to hinder the investigation, to hinder people from searching, to hinder people from helping Seth Rogers. That's exactly what this looks like. This is a case of fraud as well. I'm not going to rally for the child. He's my child, my stepchild. I'm not going to rally for him. I'm going to do whatever I can to hinder the investigation. So that shows me you're complicit. Now, whoever's in the audience that want to come for me, did I give you what the fuck you want? Did I give you what you want? It's got so crazy and it shouldn't be like this. All of the back of the missing child. And that's what's jacked up. Okay? Sorry, I'm breaking up. I'm not near my router. He's missing. Today's his birthday. And it's been nothing but nonsense. Exactly. Off the back of a missing kid. And it's never going to stop this type of abhorrent behavior because it's mischief to why he's missing in the first place. Just like all these other cases. When it gets to this point of all this hee-hawing around and everybody's throwing daggers at each other and fussing and fighting and accusing this one and that one of doing this and that, it's because there's mischief in it. That's why he's not here. That's obvious. I've seen it with Summer Wells. I saw it with Camille McKinney. I saw it with the Cal City boys. Something's not right. The people in the story ain't right. So then people out here who don't have a dog in a race, they come jump on board because they ain't right. They think they're helping, but they're not. You're just adding fuel to the fire. All off the name of a missing kid. It looks like to me everybody wants some form of attention off these people missing. And it shows you that they're sick. And there's foul play at hand. Because no decent human rides the back of a missing or dead person. Your spirit is fucked up. And as that guy said on the lab, YouTube needs to do more about the networks, making a mockery out of the cases. And even though they get strict on what we can and can't say up here, if you're imitating or insinuating anything that's felonious, as far as unaliving or making any type of sounds with your mouth, oh yeah, they'll send you a warning or they'll strike the channel or somebody will come along and try to, get your channel struck. It's just a bunch of nonsense. All of it's nonsense. To the point where you really can't say what you want to say up here. Because somebody's going to find fault with what you're saying, and next thing you know, they want to report the video. Well, she's talking about, she said something bad about me, blah, blah, blah. They made a threat against me. They made a threat against the people in the story. It's always something. But the one thing I think is sad, and you YouTubers, you know who you are. You are a part of the problem because you're the one putting the content out. And a lot of you have passed nothing but pure lies up here about this little boy. You've made up stuff. Your fans have come in and aided you, sending you shit that's fraudulent and not truthful, and it's shameful. And you got to pay the cost for that as well. You're going to have to pay as well. Because a lot of you just go all out, showing stuff and making it into something that it is not, and you ride it out. You beat that horse down. It's true. It's true. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When you know it's not. And you don't have no receipt that it's true. Anybody can have an opinion. But a lot of things you all have done appears just outright dirty. And sadly, other people come along and they ride the ride with you. And then y'all sit up here and go back and forth on live streams. Like you got damn receipts to shit. When it's just some shit you done made up in your damn head. You all need help. You all need help. I pray for absolution, as I said in my last live stream pertaining to the child's birthday. I pray for absolution. I pray for the truth to be revealed to where the child can be located, whether he's alive or he is deceased. I pray for Seth. I pray for anyone who genuinely cares for Sebastian Rogers. And they also say to pray for your enemies. That's in the scripture. Pray for your enemies. So that means anybody who is involved in this case, nefarious business. The Lord told us to pray for you too. Pray for your ways and pray that you will redeem yourself and pray that you confess what you've done to this child if you've harmed him. And then the rest is between you and God, not Queen, and nobody else. The father, I do believe he wants to believe his child is alive. And as I said before, that is Seth's choice, because I'm not Seth. And naturally, he wants to believe this. Why would he not want to believe his child? You know what I'm saying? He wants to believe this. Because I think if he was to believe the other, he knows somebody has to be held accountable for the other. And then once you say it, can't take it back. You could try. But once you spit that out your tongue, on your tongue, hey, I think you did something to my kid, it's out there in the universe. And I think he doesn't want to say that. I could be wrong. But I don't think Seth wants to say, I don't think my child is here, and I think these people are involved in the disappearance of my child or harming my child and have covered it up. Because he knows once he say it, can't take it back. Because he has to realize something's not right with those two individuals, creatures, because they've tapered off and they don't talk to him, they don't deal with him. And that is not normal behavior for somebody who has a whole child missing. Why are you not talking to the father? Number one. Why are you not rallying in the public about your child? Number two. Why did you come to YouTube talking bad about your child? Number three. Why are you taking people to court saying they're stalking you and you fear for your safety? When you have shown the public you don't care about your child, that's something you put into the universe. To me, that's not made up. So people can say what they want about what we speculate and don't speculate. No, I'm feeding off what you put out here. I'm feeding off what you put out in the universe. You have put out that you don't care for your child. So hell yeah, I'm going to speculate you have something to do with his disappearance. Why would I not? If you acted accordingly, you rallied and talked about your child, you went to the schoolhouse to talk about your child, you rallied with the father, Seth, his family, you all stand united, I may not think you have anything to do with the child being gone. But you put this element out here. So hell yeah, that's my opinion. You're involved. Now, as I said, Seth don't ever have to say he thinks they or anybody else is involved in the disappearance of his child. That's his choice. I'm not Seth. But I feel like he has a reason for whatever he thinks and whatever he says. And what did I tell you about perception? What he thinks and what he say, two different things. What he say to the public may not be what he actually feels. He might be just telling you what you want to hear, just to keep the water still. But maybe that ain't how he really feel. You understand? But it's all atrocious nonetheless. That a child was born, probably didn't have the best relationship with the parents. They didn't have the best relationship with one another. But the child was riding the ride of life. He didn't know any better. And now he's gone. And people all over the world are talking about him, talking about his parents, talking about these entities that have immersed themselves into his private life for nefarious reasons, not being genuine. It's shameful. That's why I want a resolution to this case so it can die down. All the rhetoric, the nonsense, the lies, the ill will, just died on down. And if you know you're playing a part in this madness for nefarious reasons, greed, you need to stop. You don't know these people, leave them alone. They're not your friends. They're not your family. It's not your journey. It's none of your damn business. Leave it alone. Before I go, we're gonna take one more quick look at this video, and you tell me what you see and what you don't see. And I'll put up a caption on my channel for you to give me your opinion pertaining to the video of what you see and don't see in the video. Thank you. Welcome to the Vault Excel. God bless all of you. Happy holidays to everybody. Hold on one second, everybody. It's a crazy world we live in. Next live stream, John Benet Ramsey. I'm supposed to brought you this content a week ago, but because of all this Koyabashi nonsense is the reason why I was behind on the John Benet story. I will bring her later this evening. Thank you. With that, Sassy. "80 hours of surveillance footage from Sebastian's neighborhood covering time period when he went missing. We are carefully analyzing this footage, interviewing potential witnesses, conducting daily, whatever. Mr. Fisher, are you now involved in this case?" We now have to ask also, why are you involved if you're the same man that was attempting to help the Koyabashis with the Hannah case? Hello, Janice. Hello, everybody in the chat. Green hoodie guy. Obviously, someone believes what? He has some involvement. Is this coming from the investigators helping Seth? I don't know. That's why I said I'm tired of this nonsense. I'm not writing on anybody implicating anyone in this case if they don't have any bearings on the case. Well, Natalie, I asked that. When they brought that bread back to the table, she picked it up and then put it back in the basket. I thought that was odd. Yes, she's strolling her phone a lot. That's why I said I need to see the whole video of when they sat down from the time they left. What is the time frame of the entire dinner? Obviously, that's the child getting in the car, coming out of the car. As you see the date, 2/25. This is obviously surveillance from outside of the restaurant. Why is this video being released now? That is the question many should be asking. I will put that on the community page after this live stream. This is live number 3 today. Please go back and watch the previous 2 lives pertaining to Koyabashi. The fact that her family implicated a black man in drugging her. Yes, I'm pissed off at that information. Mr. Fisher, who I believe is also involved in this case, has said that that information is false. I believe it's fraud in that case, as I believe there's fraud in this case as well. You don't see much conversation between she and the child, just her strolling the phone. He's not talking, he's basically eating. So that's why I said we need to see the entire video from the time they walked in the restaurant until the time they walked out of the restaurant. What is the timeline on how long they stayed in the restaurant? And did she ever conversate with the boy child at this table? Did he ask her any questions? Where did they go after they left this steakhouse? See, she puts the bread to the side. He looks over at the basket, shakes his head and says something. She picks it up, puts it back down, then picks up the bread or whatever on her plate. Very strange behavior. Don't know what it's all about. Yep. Got this video courtesy of another YouTuber, in case you're curious. But obviously it's released to the public for a reason, so I decided to play a little bit of it. I don't know what's going on in this case. He doesn't even have a phone of his own, so he just sits there all alone. Hello, Pale Rider. Thank you for joining me. Yes, and why didn't SF put the video out of the incident in question where KP is getting in the vehicle and something possibly handed off? Why is he not showing that part? What do you mean, Natalie? Why didn't SF? Who are you speaking of? Now, somebody in the chat is talking about his phone. I didn't even think about that while watching this, trying to talk and give my commentary. Where is his phone? Very good question. Thanks for saying that. Where is the child's phone? What is this thing here on the table? Something to hold the bill? Put your receipt. Where is the child's phone? Very good question. She's on her phone, but he's not on his phone because obviously he was hungry. As you see, when you keep replaying it, because I don't think this video is very long, maybe a few minutes, 2 minutes at the most, I think. You don't see the child on his phone. That's why I said you need to see the video in the entirety. So whoever released this video, it'd be nice if you had released all of the video footage, if you could, of them getting in the restaurant until they left out. I'd like to see how long they sat inside of this Texas Roadhouse. I also like to know, where did Katie go after she left Texas Roadhouse? Did she go straight home? Or did she go somewhere else with the child? That would be very helpful. His phone was locked down. He couldn't do much with it. What do you mean it was locked down? Who told you the phone was locked down? He didn't put out the video showing KP going past the guy getting in the vehicle. He shows only the one angle. SF put this out, I believe, but we need the whole video. Yeah, I just want the video of him walking in with her. They sit down, and then they walk back out and get in the car. That's what I like to see. The entirety of how long they sat in the restaurant. If they talked, didn't talk, somebody went to the bathroom, you know, so on and so forth. So let's ask that question. Whoever released this content, did you get the visit of these two in the restaurant for the entire duration? Whoever put this out, did you get the video of them walking in, sitting down the entire time? Pear Rider says she's completely disconnected from him. Agent 99 says, Queen, from my understanding, certain people have the video. A channel, Mr. and Mrs. E, is based on facts. Review the video, and this isn't all of it. Well, I'm sure it isn't. I'm just piggybacking off of somebody else's network of just, you know, them sitting at the table. If I can get information of a, you know, another video, because I went in the search engine before going live to see, you know, who all made, you know, videos about the video, and only 2 channels came up, and I chose this network to show what they had on the network. CP wouldn't allow him to use the internet. Seth said this phone call, said his phone could call his, say what? Seth said his phone could call his contacts, take a pic, calculator. I think that's all he could use on it. Okay. Even at home at your own kitchen table, it would be so rude to sit on your phone while having dinner with someone else. That's the whole point of why people talk about what we do with social media now, is because we don't live like how we lived 20, 30 years ago when it wasn't the internet and TikTok and IG and YouTube use. People did engage when they went out to eat. People did went out to eat. We didn't have cell phones at the table 20, 30 years ago. You know, the cell phone really didn't just get really popular until the early 2000s, mid 2000s. So now with all the things you can do on the internet, watch all this type of content, videos, this and that, this is what people do. They go to dinner, they go out to dinner, and they got the phone in their face. They're showing people what they saw, who sent them something. And you don't even have time to eat because you're still looking on the phone. You're showing people stuff on the phone. People don't even sit at the table at their own house anymore. They're sitting in different rooms. They're texting each other from the other room. Hey, go get me a soda pop. Hey, go check the mail. They don't even yell anymore. Hey, go walk the dog. They go send a text because that's the world we're in. Everybody wants to text. Most of you know how I feel about texting. I don't care about texting. I've had this issue with a certain man, that I was trying to talk to for the past couple months. All he wanted to do was text, which I understood. He had a very, important job. He couldn't sit on the phone and talk during the day. I get that. But once you get off your job, you still want to text. I have no use for you. For what? I want to text all the time. But that's the world we're in. Everything is about the media. Social media, texting only. That's it. Hell, he'd get upset if I send a voice text. Why do you keep sending voice text? Because I want to. Because I don't want to text. That's my choice. And as you see with this Koyabashi bullshit, you can't bank on a text. Because everybody don't write in complete sentences. Everybody don't explain themselves. It's easy to have typos. I was typing some stuff to somebody last night. I couldn't even get the appropriate word out in the text because it kept running on when I typed. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like doing voice text instead of typing. We just live in a different time. People are not engaged anymore with human beings. People don't visit people anymore. People don't knock on your doors anymore. They look for you to be on Facebook. Oh, well, she's okay. She's on Facebook. She posted something. But you stop posting. Do they go knock on your door to check and make sure you're alive, you're dead? Hell no. So that's the world we're in now. It's all about the iPhone, the Android. Exactly. The likes, the views, sharing the content to somebody. Hey, let me show you what I saw today on Facebook, YouTube. There's no engaging. There's no conversation. We live in a cold society now. People are now more programmed to be more cold, dealing with social media now and this cell phone business. It's just sad. Well, it is, Natalie. It's considered normal to people now. If they're going to release it, then they have to release the whole thing. If not, it's not accurate and true, right? It would be an edited video, in my opinion. Angela says, to think this could have been Sebastian's last meal. We don't know. So sad. He seems like a good boy. He didn't deserve the way he was treated. I agree. And I do believe that's why he is missing. Because he was not valued as a child, as a human being. I believe he was neglected to the fullest power. I believe he's had discord in his house with the Proudfoots. Doubt the entities known to them also mistreated the boy child. The fact he didn't have any friends, he didn't go anywhere with friends, he didn't participate in sports, other extracurricular activities shows you that this child had a very lonely existence. And I believe that is the reason why he is not here, visible with us. Whether he is alive, deceased, hidden out, whatever your perception is, it's a sad story. And as I had said before pertaining to this thing, I believe she checked out of motherhood a long time ago. And she possibly checked out before even meeting CP. So you don't know. You'd have to know her and you'd have to have been around her to give the synopsis of who KP is. But as you see in this commentary, this video, she does seem disengaged for the few minutes it runs. And I think this child was a burden to she and her spouse. He was no longer wanted. And that is why he is not here today. That's my public opinion. And yes, it would be sad to know this was the child's last meal. And that's why there are similar comparisons to this case and Summer Wells. She ran around all day with her mother, and then she allegedly returned home and somehow vanished on the hill in Rogersville. Fast forward years later, Hendersonville, Tennessee, both got the word "ville" at the end. Both are Caucasian. Both have the number 5 in their age. He goes missing after running around with his mother all day, also eating a meal, and allegedly goes home after this meal, goes to bed, thump in her room. She don't get up to investigate. Poof, voila, next morning, she looks in his room. He's nowhere to be found, if you believe her version. With ample time going by, 9 months into this storyline, it is just hard for me to believe he walked out of the house. I know that's possible. A person can walk away, run away, be taken away, carried away, but I don't think this child ran off just from the horrible things we've heard about the relationship between his parents and Seth Rogers. The fact he didn't have a life as a child as far as friends and camaraderie. He didn't go a lot of places with other children. He didn't hang with other children. It spins a story of a lonely life of a child, and a child who possibly was a burden to the mother and her husband, and possibly a dispute over custody and allegations that he was doing some things in the house or doing things to other children. Don't know if that's true. Not harping on that because I don't have a receipt to any of those allegations, but it's still nonetheless it's negative. And when you hear a lot of negative things said about a person who can't defend themselves, you start to wonder if a narrative is being pushed to sway the public to think ill of a child. And that is something we should not be focusing on, is who Sebastian is. He's still a child. Children make mistakes. Children can be groomed. Children mimic other people. That's why they do the things they do, act the way they act. But to talk ill of a child who's missing tells me a lot about the people involved in the child's life. And you're telling me you didn't care for the child and you thought and think, present tense, you think ill of the child. Hello, Karma. Thank you for joining me. Yes, they are, Agent. The similarities are very wild. But how is he doing things to others if he wasn't allowed to be around other children? Well, Pale, you have to ask the Proudfoot staff, because I think they put that narrative out about the boy. Maybe they, it was a one-time event with that little girl. See, you don't know what's the truth. But like I said, I don't believe anything that comes out of their mouths just because of the energy they have put out to the universe and the things they have said about the boy here on YouTube. They don't care anything about the child, and that's my public opinion. I feel sorry for Seth. He has to hear these opinions from people, but he probably has a thicker skin when it comes to people's opinions of the Proudfoots and people thinking they have something to do with the disappearance of his son. Because as I said, this is the energy that they have put out to others. So if they want to blame anybody for any negative feelings and commentary about them, they don't have anybody to blame but themselves. Because in the end, we don't know these people. We don't know Seth. We don't know the Proudfoots. So any interpretation is from whatever you saw coming from the mouths of these people and their behavior. And whether you like Seth or not, the Proudfoots or not, the Proudfoots have exhibited sick behavior to me as far as child rearing and not showing any concern of a missing child. And that's my opinion. Thank you, 99. I appreciate that. I think it's terrible. And what's so sick is that this will not be the last story you're going to hear of a missing kid. Every day there's a horrible story about somebody missing, or some kids missing. Just like I watched a story last night about 2 little black boys sleeping on a porch in Detroit, and the police has done nothing about it. And I'm like, this raggedy ass city, you all won't investigate 2 children sleeping on a porch in the summer and winter? It was 15 degrees in Detroit last week, and you don't think that's not a crime to allow a child to sleep on a damn porch? So how are they bathing? How are they taking baths? How are they urinating, defecating? How are they eating? It has been said that the house is registered to a pastor. Who are the parents? And why would you allow your children to sleep on a porch morning, noon, and night? We also hear of behavioral issues, why they have the children sleeping outside. Well, if it's so bad that your children won't mind you, then that means you need to take the necessary steps to have your children removed and put in some type of juvenile facility. Why are you taking care of them? You're really not. If you can allow your child to come home and sleep on a porch from the time they get out from school to the time they get ready to go to school, you're not taking care of them. So then you got to ask yourself, what are they eating? This is bizarre. And people said they called the police back in the summer when they noticed the children sleeping on the porch. And the police said they can't do anything. Why not? You can't call the state. So now that it's made the news, oh, now somebody's going to do something about it. Ain't this a blip? I wouldn't take a dog to Detroit. Detroit won't do anything about squatting. If right now you come home and see somebody living in your house or your property, Detroit police are not going to do a damn thing. Then we have this case of the kids sleeping on the porch. You can't do anything about that either. So it looks like to me, law enforcement in Detroit is nil. They ain't getting ready to do nothing about nothing. It's damn ridiculous. It's horrific. You know how cold it gets up north. Can you imagine children sleeping on a porch outside? So it don't matter if it's summer, if it's winter, they don't have any business sleeping outside. They're going to say, oh, that's not child abuse. That's not neglect, allowing your children to sleep on the front porch. Well, what do you call it then? They even had a toothbrush outside. Toothbrush, the bristles were all frayed. But that's not child abuse. Detroit needs an overhaul. I mean, an overhaul with the police department and also their laws, because there's something wrong with the city of Detroit. There's just something wrong with the government and something wrong with those people up there, that they won't allow the police to implement fucking discipline. That's their job. You go to a scene and you see the children are being neglected, you're supposed to call DHS. So it's time for the city government to change. That's why they always want you to vote, see? So you can help change the laws. It's the way it is. That's the latest, everybody. This video has been released. The child's eating a lot of food. You can see he was hungry, eating his food. The mother seemed to be disengaged in the few minutes of this content I've watched. It didn't seem like they were talking much. At one point, I thought she may have looked up and said something to him, but mostly he's just sitting there fiddling to himself. Don't seem to have a cell phone or a Game Boy or anything that he's playing with. It's a sad situation. No friends in tow at the table. Nobody else. Just him and the bio donor. So let me say this to Seth, and then I want to check out of here. Seth, what do you have to say about this video that has been released? How do you feel about what you have watched? How long is the actual video footage? The fact that somebody said on another channel that the clothes he's wearing in this video have been verified, is that true? The clothes that he allegedly wore that night to sleep, were they missing from the house? The black jogging pants or black sweatshirt or whatever, were they missing? And will we find out there is footage of the child going into the house after this steakhouse venture and or emptying the trash? Will we get conclusive information that this child made it home to his address on Stafford Court? I don't think we will. Because in order for the police to say that Sebastian never exited the house, that will lead me to believe he never made it to the house. What do they say? A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Yeah, exactly. Now, naturally, the flip side is that we can misinterpret things from a picture, but it is what it is. You are entitled to your perception of people, pictures, videos. And I don't know how long this dinner went on for, but in these 2 minutes, yeah, she was engaged in her phone. So will we get a video that's of its entirety of them at the restaurant, number one? Will we see her engaging with her son at some point in the video? Did they go somewhere else after the steakhouse dinner? Did she take her child Sebastian home to the house? And did he go missing from the house February 25th or February 26th? Did he exit the house on his own, got lost in the wilderness, succumbed to the elements? Or was he taken out of the house by force by a two-legged creature or more? Unalived in the house, taken out of the house. What say you to chat about this video, the information relayed, your perception of the video, the interaction between mother and child, implications that somebody else is involved in this crime, a person outside? We have a Mr. Fisher say that this at-night production company or investigation company is putting out a false narrative for their own benefit and gain. Do you agree with that? Do you believe there are other parties involved in the disappearance of this child that were at this restaurant, outside the restaurant, sitting in the parking lot? And will there be ramifications for releasing this video to the public and implicating a white man with a hoodie because he could get a hold of this video and sue the person who released this video for implicating him in an alleged crime of a missing boy? See, nobody is thinking here. That's why this content should have been released by authorities. Because authorities wouldn't have said anything once releasing it. They would have just released it and you would interpret what you want from the video. But once you start putting a name and a description of what somebody had on and implicating them in the case, many people will say that's foul and it's not fair to the guy in the video. So if that's the intention of at-night investigations, I don't think you should have done that. Bring a receipt that that guy standing outside is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. And I can honestly say, if that is where this case is going, I definitely don't want no parts in any of this nonsense. Any of it. And I find it disappointing. I find it heinous. I find it abhorrent. So then I have to ask if Seth is on board with this commentary coming from At Night Investigations. Does Seth believe this man is involved in the disappearance of his son?
3 persons of interest.
Dear God, I hope not. Are there 3 people of interest in this case? Are they actually speaking of this guy outside this restaurant, or are they speaking of the Proudfoots, and some entity. You be the judge. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. You are now listening to live number 3. I will be back later tonight to discuss Benet Ramsey and that investigation, where it is going, if the DNA is accurate that clears her parents, who is the culprit, why did someone write a ransom note and then leave the child there dead? Did the investigation go awry by faulty investigations and lack of experience? We will chop that up. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Happy holidays to everyone in the viewing audience. Prayers for Seth Rogers and absolution in this case. Check out my earlier live on Hanako Yabashi and also my commentary on Sebastian and his 16th birthday. God, please bring us answers to this child, his whereabouts. And I wish everyone would stop putting out content that is not factual, not truthful, implications of others without a receipt. Like I said, we do have our opinions. I've given mine before. So I might be putting my foot in my mouth right now. But I have said how I felt in this live stream. That I don't think he walked out. I do not. I think the child was in a bad situation with his parents. And I think those parents unburdened themselves in dealing with Sebastian. Today's his birthday. And it's a sad day, I'm sure, for the father. It's a very sad day. I just pray he can continue to go forward pertaining to the disappearance of his son. But once again, I'd like to get Seth's feedback on this video. And if he believes that somebody was at this restaurant, has any involvement in the disappearance of his son. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. Prayers for our children. They are our future. Prayers for this child that we get answers to his whereabouts. Happy 16th birthday to Sebastian Rogers. Prayers to Seth that you get answers. And that's my commentary. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.